Welcome back to Tear of the Common Game. Today, in deck number 793, we're going to talk about Jedit Ojanen. This is another, wow, this is 2 in a row from Original Legends. A 7-mana 5/5. Believe it's a cat warrior. It's cat something. It is the vanilla-ist of vanilla. We have blue and white. What we have to work with is we have blue, white, and he's a cat. And apparently he's holding a sword. And this is a cat warrior that I would not want to mess with. Now, Jedit was redone in Planar Chaos to be mono green of Lv5. But we're building today with Jedit Ojanen from Legends. Beautiful 1994. I was lucky enough to get Mark Poole to autograph it in the before times. So let's get to it. Obviously, this is tribal cats. You don't see a lot of blue-white tribal cats. White-green, things like that. But let's get to it. First, we will do cats. Why not? We have Leonin Arbiter. And, players can't search libraries. We do have 1 or 2 cards that's a Namba within here, but on the whole, it's going to affect our opponents way worse than us. Basri's Acolyte. Set's Tiger is a absolute house of a card. I love this thing. You gain protection from the color of your choice to end of turn. A lot of times that's tantamount to a counterspell if somebody is coming at you with a lethal amount of one color. Leonin War Leader. When it attacks, you get 2 cats. The War Leader is just amazing. Stalking Leonin. Kind of different, King of the Pride. That's a big old champion right there. Leonin Light Scribe. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, your team gets +1. We have several of those. White main line, of course, to save whatever is the target of a spot removal. We have Sacred Cat, Arcbound Mouser, Fieldar Sovereign. Maybe we'll get there. I have yet to get there in my entire Magic playing life since this card was printed. I have not gotten there. Regal Caracal. Great card. Now, Armored Guardian. This one is neat. It's got the blue mana activation to protect itself, but the white mana activation, target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice. That's not bad. This is a vastly, vastly overlooked card. Because I think it's from the period of time where a lot of people don't know it's a cat unless you read the Oracle text. Jazal Goldmane. I had to put the Savannah Lions in, right? But then there's something that really, really sets the cats off that that blue really brings to the table, and that's flying. Levitation is going to make all of them flying. Now, I tried to use as many flying cats as possible, and there are actually a bunch, surprisingly enough. We have Kimba Skyguard, Sky Hunter Patrol, Sky Hunter Skirmisher, double strike and flying. That's a big deal. We'll get to that why later. Sky Hunter Prowler, Leonin Sky Hunter, Spirit of the Hearth. But then they printed Pride of the Clouds. It's a cat, but it gets +1 for each other flying creature on the battlefield, not just you control on the battlefield. Then they, a less powerful version, the Sky Cat Sovereign. It's just you control, but it does create catbirds. Flying cats, just I don't know. That seems weird. Thank God, on our plane, cats can't fly, because that would be scary. But cats do lead into like the double strike flying one. Equipment. Leonin Shikari lets you play equip abilities at instant speed. That is pretty insane. Kimba, Ka Regent, you get cats equal the number of equipment that's on her. So that is going to lead us squarely into equipments. Not before we get to our, Sigarda's Aid, because that's awesome. And they open the armory to go tutor one up. But let's look at some equipment. Nothing flashy here, just bone splitter. Explorer scope as some ramp, what is that? 38% of the time it's going to pop up a land. Mask of Avacyn, Swiftfoot boots, Black Blade Reforged is just a house. Stoneforge Masterwork, it's really great in a tribal deck. Loxodon Warhammer, trying to get there with the Felidar again. Life gain. Fire Shrieker, Heirloom Blade is perfect for tribal. And then Sword of Vengeance. But before we get into our ramp and stuff, I want to tell you the first thing that popped in my head from... Because I sat down, Original Legends, blue-white, had no text to really go off of. But the first thing I thought of was an old white combo. Now, Island Sanctuary, enchantment, you can draw one less card during your draw step. If you do, the only creatures that can attack you are those that have flying or island walk. Now, I know Archetype of Imagination would have been perfect in this deck. I did not put it in here because it's not a cat. But like all things white, you have to give up, card advantage here. So you're not drawing any cards, to potentially save your life. And that's why I put a Howling Mine in there. Howling Mine is just going to help the white-blue deck anyway, right? Just going to help us draw cards. But I'll put the Dance of the Manse in there to get 3 artifacts back, because we kind of don't want to do 4, because if equipment are creatures, then they can't equip, and it's, but it does get some of them back. We have Wayfarer's Bauble. Fracture Power Stone. It's a decent card. For some reason I have 2 of these in non-English, so I don't exactly know that. Is that Spanish? I think that's Spanish. Sky Diamond, Azorius Signet, Cluestone, and Keyrune. Of course, we have the Herald's Horn. Now, yes, if I'd had another copy of Coat of Arms, it would have totally gone in here. Some card draw. We have Concentrate, Coastal Piracy again. It's, we're depending on combat damage. And then Sphinx's Revelation to, just gain some life and draw some cards and maybe get there with Felidar. So, our removal. We have Path to Exile, Spell Pierce, Mistcast, Mana Tithe, Mana Leak, Disenchant, Negate, Oblivion Ring, Render Silent, and I really like Deluge, especially since we're doing the as many flying cats as possible thing. Because a lot of times, I love the fact that Deluge is an instant speed, so there are times I use it defensively as, when that person untaps, they're coming after you and you are just going to die. So during their upkeep, I'm going to cast Deluge and, tap all their non-flyers. That's just me. Now, let's look at our non-basic, shall we? We have Razortide Bridge, Prairie Stream, Tranquil Cove, Irrigated Farmland, Azorius Chancery, Meandering River, Sigiri Refuge, Azorius Guildgate, Floodplain. Path of Ancestry is decent in a tribal deck. Opal Palace. Terramorphic and Evolving. Of course, there's that Rogue's Passage. Now, obviously, we are skewed way more to white than to blue. The Command Tower. Thriving Heath and Thriving Isle. And the 2 Vivids, Vivid Creek and Vivid Meadow. And then I tried to use all basic lands from Jumpstart because, it was cats. Although in Jumpstart, cats are green, and there's no green present here, so it was an interesting build. I can tell you that. I do like the blue-white cats because that's something. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a blue-white cat deck ever. So, but that is Jedit and Ojanen. I'm gonna put Jedit on the wall. When that last row's kind of snug. The bigger deck boxes that I had to use in these rows. But that is what we have got for today. I do appreciate y'all watching, and that one I'm actually looking forward to playing. I haven't played that one yet, but Blue White Cat seems like, yeah. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching, but right now we're going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.